Dollar Tree in July of 2026 is not the same store it was 18 months ago. The $1.25 shelf is bleeding into $1.50, and the casualties are showing up in real time. I've been walking this store for over an hour, and there are name brands sitting on end caps that corporate is quietly walking away from. Dawn products, Hershey's seasonal redesigned packaging that made the old version secretly the better deal, and one household item in the back that should not still be priced the way it is. That last one I'm saving. Start here. The snack aisle is where the story hits first. Hershey's cookies and cream snack size bags, still $1.25, sitting on the shelf like nothing happened. That price is a holdover. Every other retailer I've checked online has them at $1.79, $1.99, sometimes higher for the same weight. Dollar Tree hasn't moved yet. Grab them while that sticker is still there. Right next to it, Welch's Fruit Snacks single pouches at $1.25. The catch is the pouch. It's the small one, not the box. If you do the math per ounce, it's fine, not extraordinary, but for a lunchbox drop-in, it's exactly the price point it needs to be. Airheads mini bars in the small bag, same price. Nerds, Gummy Clusters small pouch, same price. Utz cheese balls in a canister. Now, the Utz canister looks tiny in your hand. It looks like a joke can. But hold it next to what a gas station charges for the same brand at checkout, and suddenly $1.25 is the real story. Gas stations are asking $2.50 for less. There's an off-brand chocolate cream pies knockoff sitting next to real Little Debbie. I'm not going to pretend I know how they taste, but the packaging is doing everything it can to convince you they're the same product. The font is close, the color scheme is close, the plastic wrap is doing its best. Wait until you see what happened to the seasonal candy 2 aisles over. Because at point 2, in July in 90-degree weather, there is candy corn on the shelf. Brach's, the original, $1.50 for the standard bag. It is July. This store is broken. My cart already has candy corn in it, and I'm not proud, but that's the retailer's rhythm now. Halloween pushes earlier every year, and Dollar Tree pushes with it. Meanwhile, in a forgotten corner, there are still Easter peeps. Actual Easter peeps. Nobody moved them. They're marked down, but they're also, peeps from April. Buyer's choice. Palmer's chocolate in seasonal fall shapes is already stocked. Generic fall-themed lollipops in orange and brown wrappers. Pumpkin gummies in a small bag. Chocolate coins in mesh bags, the kind that show up for every holiday and never really belong to any of them. Remember this. The fall stuff is arriving while summer clearance hasn't even finished. That's going to matter later. For lunch boxes, the single-serve pouches win. For a family movie night, you're better off at a warehouse pack. Dollar Tree is not the volume play. It's the one-item play. Point 3 is where the price crash is real, not marketing. Cleaning aisle. Dawn Powerwash style refill sprays at $1.25. I want to be careful here because the Dollar Tree version is not always the identical formulation you'd find at Target, and the bottle is smaller. But at this price, if you clean as much as I do, you buy 2, keep 1 under the sink, and move on with your life. The retail version of the same category runs $5 to $6 elsewhere. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser 2-packs, $1.25. Flip the box over before you get excited. The count is smaller than the name brand box you'd find at a bigger store. But even after you cut the math in half, the per eraser price still wins. Situational reversal is what it is. The box looks full-sized. It isn't. Doesn't matter. Fabuloso in the small bottle, the purple one that makes your whole apartment smell like somebody's grandmother just visited. Awesome cleaner spray, which anyone who has ever lived in a small apartment knows is the actual legend of the dollar store cleaning aisle. Lysol wipes in the small canister. Scrub Daddy knockoffs in yellow and pink, half the durability of the real thing but a quarter of the cost. A toilet bowl brush. Microfiber cloth 2-packs that shed lint the first wash but survived the second. Dish soap in generic bottles. Sponges in a 4-pack that will not last 4 weeks. Rubber gloves in one size fits nobody. Bleach in a smaller bottle than you're used to seeing. Toilet cleaner in a squeeze bottle with the angled neck, which is the only part of the design that matters. This whole aisle is the reason people still come here. Not the toy section, not the holiday junk. This. Point 4 is a speed run through bread and bakery, and I'm going fast because there's nothing complicated here. Bimbo mini pan bread, $1.25 for the small loaf. Little Debbie loose singles, individual pieces priced at the singles rate, store-brand pound cake slices in a plastic clamshell, muffin two-packs in blueberry and chocolate chip, cinnamon rolls in a small tray, uncooked. Generic donut sticks that are the size of my thumb, but there are 8 of them, so somehow the math still works. Wonder Bread mini loaves at $1.25. Cocktail buns in a bag of 12, which is oddly specific but useful for sliders. Tortillas in a small stack, 6-inch generic brand, fine for quesadillas. Bagels in a 4-pack, plain or everything. Speaking of things that shrunk, we're going to household paper. Angel Soft 4-roll toilet paper, $1.50. Now $1.50 for 4 rolls sounds fine until you realize what Costco charges for a 30-pack and do the per-roll comparison. Dollar Tree loses that fight. But Dollar Tree isn't fighting Costco. It's fighting the corner store and the small format grocery that charges $3 for the same 4 rolls. In that fight, Dollar Tree wins. Bounty select a size in small rolls. The roll looks normal on the shelf. Unroll it in your head. It's narrower than a standard Bounty. Shorter too. But per sheet, it still tracks. Puffs travel tissues in 3-packs, one of those items you throw in a car glove compartment and forget about until you need one. Solo cups, 12 count. Paper plates, 20 count. Plastic cutlery bag in white or clear. Napkins in a bulk pack, the thin kind that you need 2 of every time. Trash bags in the smaller box, 13-gallon. Count is lower than the branded box, but the price per bag is competitive if you have a small kitchen can. Aluminum foil in a shorter roll. Plastic wrap that fights you the moment you pull it out of the box, same as every other plastic wrap. If you're renting a place with 3 roommates and you rotate who buys the household stuff, this aisle is your entire trip. If you own a home with a garage and a Costco membership, skip. Point 6 is beauty, and this is where I get skeptical. LA Colors nail polish and eyeliner, $1.25. Real brand. Actual beauty brand. People forget it lives here. The polish is legitimately fine from what I've read on beauty forums. The eyeliner is fine. Pantene travel size shampoo, Colgate travel toothpaste, Suave deodorant travel sizes, all priced under the retail travel size counter you'd see at CVS. Now the mascara from the unbranded rack that I would not trust. The nail polish is a different story. The mascara, no. Some things you don't take the risk on. Anything that goes near your eye, you buy the version with a return policy. Generic makeup brushes in a small bundle. Cotton rounds in a bag of 200, which is the pack size that always shocks people who have only ever bought them at a drugstore. Hair ties multi-pack in 20 or 30 count. Nail files, 3 or 4 to a card. Bobby pins in a card of 50. Emery boards. A small bottle of nail polish remover in a scent that's supposed to be strawberry but is really just acetone with a wish attached. Small bottles of hand sanitizer near the checkout. Generic scent, useful for a purse or a backpack. Lip balm in a tube, generic brand, does the job. Chapstick knockoffs in cherry and mint. This is the aisle for restocking, not for finding your holy grail product. Travel and refill. That's what it does. Point 7. We're slowing down. Kitchen tools. OXO-style measuring cups. Knockoff. $1.25. They're fine. They're not the branded ones with the soft grip and the angled reed, but they're measuring cups. If yours broke, replace them. Silicone spatulas in a 2-pack. Useful. Going to warp near a burner eventually, but for the price, it's not a tragedy. Glass food storage in small containers with plastic lids. The lids will crack in a year. The glass will not. Can opener that I have bought 3 of in 5 years. They all break. This one will too. That's the deal. Whisk. Peeler. Ice cube trays in a 2-pack. A silicone pastry brush that will outlive most things in this cart. A slotted spoon in bright plastic that will fade in the dishwasher. A colander in a size that's too small for pasta and too big for berries, but somehow you'll end up using it anyway. Cutting board. Thin plastic. The kind you use once and then keep meaning to replace. Tongs with silicone tips that stain the first time you use them near tomato sauce. The next stop is where the clearance signs are actually hiding. Yellow tags. That's what you're looking for. Point 8. This is the payoff. The clearance corner in this store in July is a graveyard of holidays that already happened. There are still July 4th plates, napkins, and little American flag toothpicks marked down to 75 cents in some stores. Though I want to be honest, this varies by location. Some stores have already cleared it out. Some haven't. You have to walk your own store. Mother's Day items, too, in some corners, which is bizarre because that was May, but here they are. Mugs that say World's Best Mom, marked down. Small picture frames with pastel borders. Little decorative signs that say things like family, home, love, in a font somebody's aunt would pick. A tote bag with a floral print that nobody bought in time. But here's the actual gold, and this ties back to something I said earlier. Remember when I mentioned redesigned packaging making the old version the better deal? This is where that shows up. There are snack bags in this aisle with the older label design, marked down, sitting next to the new label design at full price. Same product inside. Same weight. Same everything. The redesign is the tax. The old bag is 50 cents cheaper for the identical thing. I stood in this aisle for 2 minutes trying to figure out why one bag was cheaper than the other, and I still don't fully understand the logic. But I know which one I'm putting in the cart. Same story with a couple of the cleaner bottles from the aisle we already walked. Old label, cheaper. New label, full price. Chemistry is not different. The rest of the clearance corner is chaos. A dog toy shaped like a taco, a kitchen towel with a rooster on it, a greeting card that says congratulations on your retirement, a gardening glove missing its pair, a plastic vase in a color nobody wanted, a picture frame with a crack in the corner, a candle in a scent I cannot identify, but it's called Ocean Breeze on the label. These are all connected by price and nothing else. Some of them are 75 cents. Some are $1. Rummage through it. The pharmacy-adjacent shelf near clearance sometimes has private label items being reformulated, which is why you'll see the old formula reduced. Read the boxes. Check the expiration. That's the only rule. Point 9. Kids and party. And this is the aisle that saves a rainy Saturday. Crayola knockoff crayons and washable markers, $1.25 per pack. These crayons will break in an hour. That's the point. You don't want to keep crayons forever. Small activity books connect the dots, coloring, mazes, sticker sheets in dinosaur, unicorn, and generic sports themes. Play-Doh tubs in the small size, the kind that dry out in a week if you leave the lid off. Bubble wands in the summer aisle, still fully stocked because summer is somehow still happening even though the shelves are trying to convince us otherwise. Balloon packs in every color, 12 to a bag. Party plates with either generic character prints or, if the store just got a shipment, some licensed ones that vary week to week. Party horns and paper hats in a small bundle. Candles for a birthday cake in a pack of 24, which is way more than any cake needs. Small puzzles for toddlers in wooden or foam versions. Coloring books with 50 pages that a determined kid will finish in an afternoon. A pack of temporary tattoos that will end up on every surface of your bathroom counter. The whole rainy afternoon problem, entertaining a 4-year-old, gets solved here for under $5. That's the trade. Birthday party throwaway supplies, this aisle. Long-term toys, buy elsewhere. Point 10 is the one nobody talks about. The freezer aisle. Dollar Tree has a freezer aisle. A lot of people don't realize. Armour meatballs in a small bag, frozen chicken nuggets in the small bag, a Totino's-style pizza rolls small pack, which may or may not be the actual Totino's brand depending on which store you're in. Ice cream sandwiches in a multi-pack, real brand. Frozen vegetable steamers, individual bags of broccoli, mixed vegetables, or corn. Freezer Pops box, 20 count or so. Frozen breakfast sandwiches, single serving, the kind you microwave in the plastic sleeve. Frozen waffles in a small box, generic brand. The toaster does most of the work. A small tub of ice cream in vanilla or chocolate, no fancy flavors, just the basics. You could build an entire meal from the freezer aisle here and the bread aisle we walked through earlier. Not a great meal, not a healthy one, but a meal. And on a day when the rent is due and payday is Friday, that math matters. One more section before I get out of here. The stuff I almost missed. Command hook knockoffs near the storage aisle, $1.25 for a small pack. They hold less weight than the real ones. Read the label. Rechargeable LED tea lights, actual rechargeable, not the disposable kind, near the seasonal display. pet treats in small bags, milk bone-style knockoffs, small quantity but small dog-friendly. A small pet food dish in plastic, the kind that slides across the floor every time the dog eats. Reading glasses at $1.25 in various strengths. If you need a spare pair for the kitchen or the car, done. I have a pair permanently living in my glove box, solar garden stakes near the outdoor end cap. These will glow for exactly one summer, which is exactly what you paid for. Greeting cards in 2-packs, which is a category Dollar Tree quietly dominates because the drugstore version of the same card is $6. Reusable shopping tote at the register, useful for carrying the rest of this card home. Phone charging cables in the electronics end cap that will last, in my experience, about 3 weeks. Buy one for the drawer. Do not buy one as your primary cable. A small pack of AA batteries near the checkout, brand you don't recognize, that will run a remote or a wall clock but should not go anywhere near a camera or a game controller. Tiny screwdriver set in a plastic case that lives forever in a junk drawer. Notebook, spiral bound, that a kid will fill in a week. Pens in a 10-pack that write for about half a page each. A small tape measure that reads in both inches and centimeters and disappears the moment you need it. Air fresheners in a small bottle, 3 cents on the shelf, one of which is always vanilla. A pack of shoelaces, black, the length nobody actually needs but keeps for the emergency. A dish drying mat in a color that will not match your kitchen. Prices at Dollar Tree vary store to store more than any other retailer I walk, and clearance especially depends on which manager decided to mark what down. Some of what I mentioned may already be gone by the time you get there. Some of it may have moved to full price. But the pattern holds. The old packaging beats the new one. The seasonal stuff shows up before it should, and the cleaning aisle is still the reason to come in the door. Thanks for walking through this one with me. I'll see you at the next stop.